Hey guys, it's Tina here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to attempt to do a full face of makeup using just foundations. Recently, I was sent the entire range of the Nars Natural Radiant Longwear foundation. Let me open it up for you. This is what it looks like inside. There's 33 shades in the Nars foundation range, and these are the 3 full sizes that I got. So since I received the entire color range, I thought it'd be a cool and fun idea to try to do my makeup using just foundations. And because I do have a pretty wide color range, I thought it's totally doable, it's possible. I'm going to attempt to do it today. Now, one of the trend predictions for 2018 from the Pinterest 100 is that you're going to see a lot of brands that are going to be much more shade inclusive, meaning they're going to come out with more foundation color and the range is going to be bigger. You know, the Fenty Beauty range, everyone was raving on about the 40 shades in her range. I feel that a lot more brands will follow suit with that, and hopefully we'll see a lot more range for everyone, for women of color. If you're light, you're dark, hopefully it will cover the entire scope. Let's talk about the new Nars Natural Radiant Longwear foundation. This foundation will be launching in Australia this month, and you can get it at Mecca for $71. Alternatively, I think it's already available in the US at Sephora for $49. So what's so special about these? This is their new 16-hour fade resistant foundation. It's got a nice fresh sort of like natural finish to it. It has a medium to full coverage. I've actually used it a few times and I do really like this foundation. It doesn't feel really heavy and cakey on the skin, and you don't need a lot of product to get good coverage. Now, the shade I'll be applying on my skin first is Fiji. I'm just going to give it a good shake like you would with most foundations, and then just pump maybe about 2 pumps on the back of my hand, just like so. And I'm just going to sort of like dot it on more towards the center of my face because that's where I have more things to cover up. With this foundation, you can definitely just use your fingers to blend it because the warmth of your fingers will help melt the formula into your skin. So I'm just going to use like small circular motions. Now, if you're wondering, this foundation is great for all skin types. It doesn't contain oil, so if you're worried because you have like oily or combination skin, this foundation should work fine. Also, if you have dry skin types, it doesn't really cling onto any dry bits and make your skin look cakey, which I love. I'm then going to buff the foundation into my skin with a brush, just really quickly, just make sure everything's blended out nicely. I'm going to grab a lighter shade, Salzburg, and just use that underneath my eyes and pretty much use it to highlight. This is actually so good to have in your makeup kit. If you're a makeup artist, you can have all these like little sample size products and your kit won't be as heavy. I'm just gonna dot it underneath my eyes and I'm just gonna blend it in with a brush. So this is gonna be like my concealer. For my contour shade, I'm going to be using this shade Tahoe, and yeah, I'm just going to use it to contour. So I'm just going to pretend it's a liquid contour. Just going to use my fingers for this. Just going to pop it on either side, and I'm just going to blend it out. I've totally made it too thick. See how this shade is kind of turning up a little bit more warmer and orangey? I think this makes a good bronzer color, not so much a contour color, so I'm going to use another shade. I'm going to try this one. This one is Vellum. Hopefully it has more of like a neutral undertone or even a bit more on the pinky side. Yeah, this is a better shade. Grab my beauty blender and just give it a nice blend. I'm going to contour my nose with the same shade, so just be super light-handed with this. I'm going to grab a lighter shade, just a little bit of this, Deauville, and I'm just going to pop it on the bridge of my nose just to highlight. Here's a close-up of what my skin looks like. I'm going to quickly just powder my T-zone because I don't want that area to budge too much. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of translucent powder just over those areas and over my eyelid and brows as well, because we're going to do brows next. For my brows, I'm going to use the darker shade. This is Marley. I'm going to hopefully be able to fill in my eyebrows with this. I've just popped a dot of it on the back of my hand, and I'm going to use an angled brow brush to do this. This is the first time I'm using foundation to fill in my brows, so wish me luck. Alrighty, here I go. You know what? The color totally works. Just going to lightly blend that color forward, just really softly because I don't want it too dark. To clean up the edges of my brows, I'm just going to use that same color I used for my foundation and just clean this up, make it sort of more crisp and clean. And there you go, this is the end result of my brows. Wow, look at the difference. I could totally get away with using foundations on my brows. Let me quickly do this side, and then I'm going to apply foundation onto my eyes, hopefully to create a nice eye makeup look. For my eyes, I'm going to go into this medium shade. This is Valencia, and I'm going to just kind of like apply a wash of it all over and see how it looks. Just gonna pop it on. I'll grab another brush to buff the edges out. So far it still looks fairly natural. I'm gonna go in with a deeper shade. I'm going to use Macao to add depth to the outer corners. Just going to slowly build it up here and just bring it into the center and then buff it out. It's starting to look more like eyeshadow now. I'm going to pop that same shade underneath my lower lash line. Just bring it out and connect it up with the top. Just run it back and forth. I feel like I can go a little bit darker. I'm going to use this shade. This is New Caledonia. Just going to pop it on the outer corner. Grab my other brush and buff the edge out. I'm going to add a little bit in the inner corner as well. Just bring it up to the crease and connect it all. I'm liking how my eyes are looking, but I feel like it just needs a pop of highlight. So I'm going to go in with a slightly lighter shade. This is Patagonia. I just want to pop this on the center and kind of like blend it out with my finger so it's not too obvious. Yeah, just so that there's a bit more dimension. You can see like a light bit, the dark corners. I'm going to go into the darker shade Marley and just sort of like line my eyes and define it a little bit. Just going to stay really close to my lash line and pretty much use this as like a dark brown eyeliner. Time to curl my lashes. And I'm going to pop on some lashes. This lash is called Inspire. So I've just trimmed these lashes to size and I'm just going to pop them on top. This one is a new style from my brand Petite Cosmetics. It's in the Luxe range. So both of my lashes are on. I'm going to give it a few minutes to dry and then move on to the next step. Remember that color I used before that was too orange? I'm going to use that as a cheek color. So I'm going to pop Tahoe onto my cheeks. Ooh. I need to buff it out a little bit. Yeah, that can pass as a cheek color. Just pop it on and then buff it out. It's like an orangey blush. Final step is lipstick. I obviously have to do like a darkish lipstick for it to stand out. Otherwise, I'll just look really washed out if I go for a skin tone one or my skin tone one. So let me see. Okay, what color? Should I do this color? This color? Or this color? Maybe I'll start off with this color first and see how that looks, and then if it's not enough, I'll add a darker color on top. So this one is Bellum. I used that one before. I think this color works. It kind of looks just like a darkish nude. Once it mixes with my natural lip color, I feel like it kind of looks like an orangey brown, like a nudie orangey brown. I could totally picture Kylie Jenner having this color. I think it goes really well. I mean, because everything's brown and neutral, right? I think I might pop a bit of a lighter color in the center of my lips. I'm gonna pop in this Vienna Vienna color. Just a little bit of it, just to add a bit of dimension. Or like, it kind of looks like it's shiny, but it's not. Almost looks like I have gloss on my lips now, but it's just foundation. Alrighty, this is my end look using just foundations and lashes, of course, but everything else I use the foundation colors from the Nars range. But the brows actually look like I've used a brow pencil or a powder or something. And look, you can just see my hands. That's how many shades I've used. I've just mixed a concoction of colors here to create this look. But you know what? It's actually totally wearable, and it doesn't even look like I used only foundations to create this look. I'm impressed with myself. Now you can see that my skin does look nice and glowy. It has a nice sheen to it, so it kind of looks like I've applied highlighter, but I haven't. That's just the natural sort of glow and finish of the foundation. It honestly looks really nice on my skin. I don't feel like it's too heavy. It doesn't really feel like I have much on, to be honest, besides the lashes. I don't really feel caked or heavy, so I really like that. Also, because there are 33 shades in this range, I don't think you're gonna have too much trouble finding your foundation shade. I don't think I could have achieved this look had the range been more limited to maybe like a 12 or 15 shade. So I'm really glad that they are shade inclusive, and hopefully a lot more brands will follow suit. Now, if you want to see more full face challenges, either using another brand, maybe Fenty Beauty or Lancome, they have 40 shades as well. Or even, what about lipsticks? I've seen a few YouTubers try to do a full face of makeup using lipstick. That would be quite the challenge. If you want to see that, please let me know below. And that's it for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll speak to you guys next time. Bye.